I'm Gerald Bentley. This is LVWS Confidential. This week, we're taking a different slant. We're joined by the David Difference. You can hear him, see him on some FSW and weekly on K-Dawn on the Mark Hoke Show, talking some pro wrestling. David, hey, thanks for joining us.
Oh, what a difference a Dave makes. It is an honor to
Yeah.
be here. Appreciate your time, man. Thank you for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been excited to have you on because you're a great spokesperson for the wrestling community in Las Vegas. And
Oh, yeah?
yeah, you have a good gauge on it. And what week better to just kind of talk about Las Vegas wrestling than coming up off the heels of Double or Nothing. I would have loved to have been up there in the arena. I actually watched it at a AMC theater here, which was great. I was in an AMC theater with about 100 people, and they were going nuts. So it was a good showing for Las Vegas. And I'm just wondering, from being in Las Vegas for the whole week, what was your reaction to how it went off?
So just the week as a whole, or the AEW shows? So the week was pandemonium. Like we knew, we expected for this to be the week. So everybody, we were well prepared. Like, just so many events. Like, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like the amount of events everybody's throwing the show in such a little amount of time. It's almost overkill, but it's a beautiful thing if you love wrestling. It's definitely good for the community.
It had to be a record for the FSW arena.
Well, so we did the same thing last year, where we had like the DW show as well, and that was probably that was our biggest arena show, and it was wild. It was during the afternoon, so it was a little different atmosphere. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we knew what we were getting into last year, and we set it up, added a couple extra things, and we were well prepared, and like it came off. It was a beautiful thing this week. Like, leading up to it, the week leading up to it, everything's been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I had a chance to talk to Joey DeFalco and D'Lo Brown about their second gen pro show, and I know they put a lot of work into it. Now, just for viewers watching this who aren't in the Las Vegas market, we get viewers from across the country. How would you describe the David difference in the Las Vegas wrestling scene? Just kind of give them a thumbnail of.
So yeah. So just take it back, like a lifelong wrestling fan, obviously, since I was a little teeter-totter, man, back in the days. And then when I came to Vegas, I connected with Joe DeFalco early on in my Vegas days, and just kind of went from there as a sponsor for FSW, and then kind of developed that in a behind-the-scenes business and guest experience role, and a little bit of jack of all trades over there. And so so I've been tied in for a little bit with the talent, with the students and everything, and just making magic and making a difference over there, trying to make a difference
every day. You get it in. And it's been a tremendous growth when you think about it. I mean, you think of FSW now as really being one of the super independents, right? I mean, one of the closest to where you're not really making a big jump going from FSW to the NWA or appearing on Ring of Honor. But that wasn't the case not all that long ago. It's been a pretty quick growth for everything Joe DeFalco's been able to do, with help from yourself and people like D'Lo, like Sin Bodhi and Kenny King.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a strong team over there. I mean, so much talent that goes through there, from behind the scenes people to the talent that's in the ring.
Yeah.
And it's been a build. I mean, I can't believe the next month is actually 14 years. It's like time flies. I think when I first came to Vegas, it was the 4th or 5th year. So it's definitely grown, and it's grown exponentially. I think each year we just keep adding on and learning more and making more connects. But it's definitely the place to be if you're looking to train, or if you're looking to see like a wrestling event in Las Vegas. FSW is the place to be.
Definitely. Yeah, and it really kind of grew up during that period where the only real wrestling company out there was the WWE. So it was really forward looking to create that brand and build it up and build up the FSW network and be there ready to go when wrestling exploded again.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, we setting everything up, like you said, with the network. That was like, the WWE had their network. We was like, we got so much footage and archive. Let's go ahead and put that together. And just always looking forward, not just being a promotion company that runs a show every once in a while. Like I said, we got the school and we do 2 to 3 shows a month. We're back in Silverton next month. So like the casino shows, like, we're definitely a fixture here in Las Vegas with FSW. I'm proud to be a part of it.
And as we kind of get into the week that was, I mean, just some of the coverage you can find on Las Vegas Wrestling Scene.com. GCW versus FSW. Here's Sandra Moon against the cutest one in the world, Maki Ito, GCW All-Star. And that was part of the card with GCW and all the big GCW wrestlers, the regulars. Nick Gage was in there, Joey Janela.
Yep.
And that's a company that really has built a good relationship with FSW and maybe is a sign of what would be the next step for FSW, because GCW has grown out of being Jersey Championship Wrestling to now being a national touring promotion.
Yeah, that's definitely something we often discuss. I mean, GCW is an animal of its own. I remember, last year before we had the GCW versus FSW, they had their show at the Silver Nugget, and it was packed to the gills up in there. And probably the biggest independent show that I had seen, and the crowd was live the whole time. And I was like, this is definitely something. It excited me, and I was talking to Joe, like, how do we get this happening? And it's just I think we're always in the works of new innovative things and, storylines and, just even revamping our own home arena, to look nicer and have a more professional feel and attracting those bigger sponsors. So, yeah, I definitely think that's on the card looking forward, is like, we would like to do that. We want to do something for WrestleMania next year and travel. I think after we get that first one under our belt, we'll have a better gauge of how this may go and, the best direction. Yeah, but it's
definitely
brought a lot of energy out here.
Definitely taking a step. And like I said, there was a bunch of shows, and kind of kicked off with Ring of Honor wrestling taking place right before AEW Dynamite, really kind of taking the place of the old AEW Dark. Got a few of the local guys in there, Jacob Austin Young, Bryce Saturn, and looks like they were going up against the Butcher, the Blade, and Kip Sabian. So always neat to see the local guys.
Shogun over there.
And
then Lights Camera Faction got in the mix.
Well, they're on Rampage. Right?
Yeah. They're making moves.
That's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah. No, just seeing, because I didn't know who was going to be out, but anytime like WWE or somebody comes to town, they usually use some of our guys, and it was just good seeing them in the ring. And then also at Double or Nothing, when we were backstage, I seen Lights Camera Faction coming out. I'm like, they're connected. Like, there's another level for those boys. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's the proud moments.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job. And something that this goes back now to, I believe it was the second LVWS Confidential we did. We spoke with Fresco-Matic, the city kingpin, the street sweeper. And he was talking about how they wanted to be different. And maybe you had a role in this, because he said specifically, we wanted to be different. We wanted to keep the faction together. And unlike a lot of independent wrestling, where maybe you're a babyface in one area, you're a heel in another area, the backstories are different, the whole name could be different depending on the city you're in. They wanted to be consistent, have a story, have a brand, and go at it together. And if independent wrestling were to be measured in years, it would be measured in like dog years. They've been able to keep that consistent now for a couple of years, and they've all been able to move up the ladder together, which is really a great accomplishment. And a lot of work and a lot of credit needs to go out to all those guys.
Yeah, no, it's definitely huge. They got it dialed in. I mean, all of them as individuals, great talents and like great people behind the scenes and everything.
Yeah.
It took me a while, like for the character aspects and doing the interviews with them and stuff. It took me a while to warm up to him. Fresco, I've always enjoyed like the way he speaks and the way he comes across. He would yell a lot, and I'm like, come on, let's tone that down and communicate a little.
Yeah.
But just seeing their evolution to where they're at now. I mean, they got the look, they got the attitude, their branding is on point, and the mouthpieces is ridiculous. So like, I'm a huge fan, and like I said, it took me a while to warm up to the group as a collective. But yeah, I love those boys. They dope.
Yeah, and they had a big week. They were in AEW Rampage. They were back at Booker T's Beyond Wrestling.
Oh yeah. They're making moves. I mean, there's certain people that you see, like you can see their work ethic, what they put in, and what they bring to the table, and then you could look at people that have graduated to that next level, like the Crosses, the Zoey Starks, the Sefa Fatus, and what they had, and like these guys as a collective, like they embody that. They got that look, and like I said, they're dialed in, and I definitely see big things in their future, man. Future stars of wrestling.
Yeah, well,
Next
that's
level.
that's a good point because yeah, if you were watching, talking a lot about AEW because they were in town, but if you were watching WWE programming this week, there's definitely an FSW footprint in it. Karrion Kross was going up against AJ Styles on Friday, right before their pay-per-view or their premium live event, where
Right.
AJ went against Seth Rollins for the title. Zoey Stark had a role in the Night of Champions, and Solo.
Yeah, Solo Sikoa. Yeah, I think it just speaks to their talent, and like I said, to get to that level, like you can even get to that level and just blend into the background, like to be able to stand out, and like you got Solo in the main event there, and
Sure.
Zoe like doing that big time feud. Yeah, it's just a testament to all the hard work that they put in, because you definitely saw it. We saw it, like they were FSW champions. We knew it, we saw it, and I think the world sees it as well. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. Very excited. Very
Yeah,
excited.
you got to be. And another big match from the weekend. Matt Vandergriff going up against Damian Drake, and there's another couple of guys that really you can put up against any professional wrestling you can find if you go deep down the pro wrestling rabbit holes on YouTube and you line up the matches with Damian Drake and Matt Vandergriff, and they stand shoulder to shoulder with pretty much everybody.
Yeah, no, tremendous talent. I mean, I've been doing it forever, and it's so interesting. Like being around these guys is, Vandergriff is what 25 years old, and he's like, when's my time? It's like, you've just been in it what 5-6 years,
Yeah.
but it seems like a lifetime. But I'm telling you, that's the guy that shows up first, leaves last, and is always like trying to reinvent and do new stuff. He's trying to find that factor, but hands down, that is one of my favorite people, behind the scenes and in the ring, just to see what he puts into it and how humble he is. And I interviewed him when they first started the Unguided,
Hmm.
uh, and he was just so quiet, and he's giving Damien his answers to say. I'm like, all right, but just watching everybody mature, that's like probably the most beautiful thing, is like how they grow into that persona and start feeling themselves, because that's definitely what it takes to be a pro wrestler. Like the whole thing's about being bigger than life, and watching that growth is like a magical thing, you know.
Yeah, because it's a package, right? It's the whole package. And kind of going back to the big event of the weekend, the AEW event, Double or Nothing, the co-main event was the Four Pillars match for the heavyweight title. And you
Yes.
saw four guys in the ring under 26 years old that all have had major growth just since AEW started, both in being wrestlers and also in being, you know, characters or personalities, just
Oh yeah.
opening up and talking, especially with Jungle Boy from, basically I think helping learn under Christian, and Darby with Sting. Just
Right.
a
Right.
huge difference, and you can see that growth. And I think the same thing holds true for any level of wrestling.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, definitely the younger cats are a lot hungrier, right? And they're willing to take a lot more risks and put themselves out there. Like, my motto is, what's the best that can happen? And I think that to get in that position, you got to believe that, like, what's the best that can happen, and just push yourself to the next level. So yeah, like initially, and I heard a lot of feedback and flag, like, this main event, and somebody had told me, oh yeah, it's going to be a 15-minute match, and I was like, nah. Like, they're gonna pull out the stops, and they did, and
Oh yeah,
the crowd was loving it. And yeah, like I said, like that hungry young talent, it's just beautiful to watch them, put it on the line for, for the love of the business and for the fans. And I'm interested because I had heard, like, just watching the reviews online, they were saying, oh, the crowd was dead. You watched it on in a movie theater, but what What was your reaction? Did you think the crowd was not hot that night? Because I was in the crowd and it seemed like they was going all night.
No, I think the crowd was pretty loud, and I can tell you the crowd at the movie theater, they were all excited. I mean, the people were pumped, and
Yeah.
I had the two people right in front of my wife and I. They were saying, "Oh man, we wish we could be there. It would be so awesome. Oh man." And they
Yeah.
were really into it. So I think sometimes the internet trolls kind of get going and they complain just to complain.
Yeah, now they had posted some of the pictures with like the camera, hard camera side, where it was kind of empty, and it was in the beginning. It
Yeah.
started to fill up, but I mean, then again, but I'm telling you, the crowd was jacked the whole night. And I was shocked when I heard people say it was dead in there, and people didn't like the show. I was like, that show was amazing. That was good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah.
No,
So
I thought it was great. I thought it was one of the better pay-per-views they've had from start to finish. The
yeah.
opening battle royale, I would have liked to have seen Swerve win, but I thought the
Okay.
way it ended was really good, and you had a lot of good action throughout that battle royale. And as somebody that works behind the scene, the other thing they did with the battle royale is they were able to create the basis for multiple stories out of the battle royale, not
Right. Yeah.
just throwaway where, okay,
Yep.
you toss this guy over. The eliminations made sense and they built towards something.
Yeah, I think that's the page. Like, anytime you watch the Royal Rumble or Battle Royals, there's always some people facing off that's like, oh, here we go. And I think, yeah, that was key with so many people going and so many hot spots happening in there. Yeah, it was exciting. It wasn't just, whether you thought that he was going to, retain the title for this one or not. It was just the whole match was, it was exciting, man. And the way to kick it off, it was like, all right, let's go, let's do this.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was an exciting way. So it built up a lot, and I'm interested to see where they go with everything. And obviously, what is it, tomorrow night? Like, I'm losing track of days
Yeah.
here. Like, it's been so crazy. Like, the story continues, man. We keep on moving. So I'm excited to see where everything ends up.
And then on a personal level,
Mm-hmm.
on the Mark Hoke show,
Yes, sir.
Saraya
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Double J were on there. How was that?
So Saraya came in the week previous, and like just amazing energy, like great interview. Like you sometimes you meet somebody and they're just dry, their energy is off, and like she was super friendly with everybody. Opened up, she was like, "Ask me anything, I'll talk about it." Just great attitude, great energy. I came away from that inspired, just feeling like that was a moment. That's the
Hmm.
thing about this. And it's funny because, and we'll talk about Jeff Jarrett in a second, but just the overall. So Saraya one week, Jeff Jarrett the next, and my only squad that watches wrestling is my FSW people, or
Uh-huh.
Mark Hoker. So when I'm talking to like my inner circle, they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't care. They're not excited about like who'd you talk. Maybe I know who that is. So being able to be around my people at the wrestling and
Hmm.
like talk about, like with you, like that you would understand like what kind of
Sure.
moment that is, and that's some big stuff. So I'm always open to talk about it. But yeah, so Saraya interview was dope. We had that, and then he said he set something up for the following week, and it was like Jeff Jarrett had to move some stuff around, and he came in again, amazing interview, just open. And I never liked Jeff Jarrett as like his matches come on, not for me. I just wasn't feeling him, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. Once you meet him, like instant, I'm a fan now. Like, and here we are, like what, 20 years later, and it's like, yeah, that's my guy. We had good conversation off the air about books and about higher level business stuff,
Sure.
and that's the thing. It's like once you peel back them layers, but at the same time, he said, I'm doing my job if you didn't like me. I told him
Hmm.
I didn't like you, man. And he's like, yeah, that was my job. You weren't supposed to like me. So yeah, that was just an amazing week. And then we had the kickoff, which was the future legends on
Hmm.
Thursday, and then we had the interview on Friday, and then yeah, so this week has just been nuts. And then Sunday we had the Nasty Boys before the Double or
Yeah.
Nothing pay-per-view. So yeah, I was telling Mark, as we were going through the week, was Mark Hoke, the Hulkamaniac. I was telling him that you get burnt out, and it's like oh man, we got all these shows coming up, and we got to get up at this time and do this. Then I had to check myself, and it's like we get to do this, because once it's over, when's it going to come back again? Maybe a year. And let's just embrace every moment, man, and just have fun and take this all in. And we did that. And even though he got roasted by MJF there at the press conference,
he got diagnosed with a non-existent disease. He's type 3 diabetic now.
Yeah, he upgraded on there. So just being a part of that, it was a magical week, man. And that's the thing, is I talk to people about it, but they don't get it. So I'm happy to be able to vent here. This is counseling for me.
Well, hey, just to wind it down some, we got the LVWS championship belt for you to be the champion of the week. Just a few quick questions.
Yes, sir.
What was your biggest takeaway from the week? I think you kind of answered that already, but
yeah, just that. That there's so much talent out there, and I love to see people chasing their dreams. And with that many shows, you see a collective of so many people chasing their dreams. And I love that, because most of the times you get, in the real world and 9 to 5s, you see people that hate what they do. And just being around that many people that love what they do is a beautiful thing. The energy is ridiculous, and a lot of people don't understand it. And when you get around the community, the wrestling community, the FSW fam, just the wrestling fans as a whole, that is a beautiful energy. And, that's my biggest takeaway. It's just it's magic moments like that. And seeing all these young cats just going for a dream, that's huge. That is a huge, beautiful thing.
Okay. And what was your match of the weekend?
I want to say that, there's so much. So at FSW, I'm usually at the front of the house running my mouth or something. So I don't get to see a lot until they send me the tape of that. But I want to say a Double or Nothing. I want to say I like the Four Pillars match. I mean, it was good. They pulled out the stops. It exceeded my expectations. What I was told it was going to be. They pulled out all the stops, and it was just good seeing all those talents, doing their thing. But top to bottom, that card, it was a dope card. It was just good. I like the Jarrett match. After interviewing him, I was tuned into that and seeing Karen get involved with that, and the squad and Jay Lethal, and it was just. I've been to wrestling shows a lot. This one was different. I don't know, it was different. Well, maybe this is my second AEW show, so maybe that was it. Added to it, but yeah, it was just pick one. Come on.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Lots of different styles too, because the FTR against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal match had a real old school feel to it, complete with the lackey manager and Sanjay, the goon with Satnam. There's the enforcer, his wife Karen, and the guitars. I mean, it was real old school, and it was a good throwback, and really kind of blended great with FTR style, because that's much more in their lane. They're not going to be going flips and tope suicidos and 450 splashes with the Lucha Bros, but those guys, that was a perfect matchup. I can tell you the match that got the biggest reaction at the movie theater, and it wasn't even close. Taya Valkyrie and Jade Cargill. The theater erupted when Big Boss Vat let her out with "All the Pretty Girls Walk Like This," and then exploded again when Chris Statlander came out and won the TBS title, because that was the big surprise, and kind of lived up to the AEW tradition now of having a big surprise in each pay-per-view.
Yeah, for the match, not so much, but yeah, when Statlander came out, they went nuts. And I'm gonna be honest, I was like, who is that? I was asking Mark, who is that? He had to explain it to me, but they was going nuts. And but the match, it was definitely good to see. But yeah, the pop of the night
in the theater.
Where are you at?
Kansas City.
Kansas
City, Missouri, and Big Boss Vet just happens to come from Missouri.
Okay.
So that may have been part of it. But it was the reaction of the night.
That may have been all of it. But okay, I get it now. But yeah, the whole card was stacked, and it was good times. And you can't be mad. That one thing I don't like is just people that they complain. You want to see something else. It's just let it go, man. Let's enjoy this show, for what it is.
Yeah, sure. And the biggest complaint I saw online for the match was that they stopped the Adam Cole Chris Jericho match. Well,
Yeah,
if it's not defensive, yeah, at some point you're going to stop it, right?
right. So what? And I'm still trying to figure out if that was supposed to be, if something happened, or like even at the press conference, he didn't really address it. Nobody really addressed it. Online just was like, yeah, I guess he beat him too good, I don't know, too bad or whatever.
The
But
only
I
thing
was
I
like,
saw is his eye was cut open. Maybe that
yeah,
was
it's,
enough.
yeah, it's like we've seen worse. So I don't
Yeah.
understand what's happening here. But
But
that
I was pulling
was a letdown of the night.
I was pulling for Adam Cole because my prediction was that Adam Cole's the next AEW heavyweight champion, and that MJF was going to win the Pillars match because they're setting up for him. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting you talk about heavyweights because Adam Cole walked by me when when we were leaving Dynamite.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a little dude, man. So
I guess not a heavyweight.
right. But I guess it is what it is, man. He got that heavyweight spirit there. So
yeah. Well, hey, until the next time we step on into the ring, you can experience the David difference with FSW, and you can tune in on Sunday mornings to the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN, or whenever you want to get it, just pull the podcast down off the Odyssey app. Until next time we step into the ring here on LVWS Confidential, we'll see you when the bell rings. Thanks.